the call to the Manager of Opposition Business.
My question is to the Minister for Indigenous Australians, and I refer to her previous answer. When asked what matters would not be within the remit of the Voice, she said, quotes, "The Voice will concern itself with issues that directly affect First Nations people." Close quotes. Minister, which policies do not directly affect First Nations people?
Order. The Minister for the Environment. Members on my left. Order. The member for Moncrieff. We heard the manager read his question in silence. The minister will be given the same courtesy, and she has the call.
Read it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and can I thank the member for the question. We should all reflect that just on Monday, the Productivity Commission brought down a report on the Closing the Gap targets. And they told a terrible story. We are elected into this place to represent everybody. And to do that is also to understand these statistics. The life expectancy gap is not on track. It is not okay that my life expectancy is 8 years shorter than the deputy. It's not okay. It is not okay that for those of you that have children who are doing Year 12, that those outcomes will not be as good for First Nations students. It is not okay that babies are born at unhealthy birth weights. That is not okay. The fact that I visited a community last week where there were 30 people living in a 2-bedroom unit is not acceptable. This is why the Voice is important. This is why it will make a practical difference on the ground. This will make a very practical difference.
Order. The Minister. Order. The Minister for the Environment. The Minister for the Environment is warned and will not interject. The Manager of Opposition Business, I'm trying to hear his point of order.
Respectful debate. Thanks, Peter. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Speaker, on relevance, I think all fair-minded Australians agree with the point about the work we collectively have to do on the Closing the Gap targets. The question goes to the Voice. Minister, which policies do not directly affect First Nations people?
The member for Jellybrand is warned. I'll hear from the Leader of the House.
On 2 points of order, Mr. Speaker. One, on the relevance rule, what matters is whether or not it's relevant to the terms of the question. That's what standing orders say, and I put that it is. Secondly, and I didn't want to interrupt while the minister was speaking, but I get that when a minister, and some of us do it, I'm guilty of it, deliberately inflame the place, people will interject back. The constant interjections, in particular from the member for New England.
Order. Order.
Interjections are always disorderly. But it is also the case. It's what you're doing now.
Order.
I know you get angry a lot, but it's what you're doing now. Mr. Speaker, when an answer is being given in the tone in which the Minister for Indigenous Affairs is giving the answer, the interjections that are coming from those opposite simply should not be there.
I'm listening to the minister. Order. I'm listening to the minister carefully to make sure she's being relevant regarding the question. Interjections are highly disorderly. I want to hear what the minister has to say, and I'm sure all members want to hear what she has to say. I issue a general warning for the House. and ask the Minister in continuation to be relevant to the question. I'll listen to her answer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. One of the incredibly important design principles of the Voice to Parliament is that it will work alongside and with existing organisations and traditional structures. The coalition of the peaks is fundamental to the closing the gap targets, and the Voice will be able to work alongside the coalition of peaks in terms of the implementation plan. Let us remember that when the opposition came into government last time, they cut $500 million out of the Indigenous Affairs budget, and that had a devastating effect. This country does not want to see further disadvantage, and the Voice is about practical outcomes, it's about recognition, and those two things is what you need to understand.